Welcome back to Red Glasses Talks. The topic today is He's alive. Jesus died on Good Friday, approximately 1,993 to 1,996 years ago. At the tick of a clock, Jesus, the Son of God, God in a body, died on a cross. It really happened. It really happened. Approximately 3 days later, Jesus, who died on a cross, was put in a tomb, had a gigantic boulder or rock rolled over the covering or the entry of the tomb. He was dead. But 3 days later, Jesus pulled one of the greatest coups of all history. He got up from the dead. It really happened at the tick of a clock. He arose, just like he foretold he would. If you're not familiar with the Bible, and a lot of people that are Christians are not familiar with the Bible, and a lot of people that are not followers of Jesus, sometimes they know more Bible than the people that are Christians. But anyway, he foretold that he was going to live, die, and rise from the dead. Let me read you some verses on that. Matthew 16:21. You might want to write these down. From that time on, Jesus began to explain to his disciples that he must go to Jerusalem and suffer many things at the hands of the elders, the chief priests, and the teachers of the law, and that he must be killed and on the third day be raised to life. Mark 10:33 and 34. I'm reading the document. I'm reading the most reliable, most printed document of all times. Mark 10:33 through 34. We're going up to Jerusalem, he said, and the Son of Man will be delivered over to the chief priests and teachers of the law. They will condemn him to death and will hand him over to be crucified. And the Gentiles who will mock him and spit on him, flog him and kill him, and 3 days later he will rise. Luke 24:6 and 7. He is not here. He is arisen. Remember how he told you while he was still with you in Galilee? The Son of Man must be delivered over to the hands of sinners, be crucified, and on the third day be raised again. John 2:19 through 21. Jesus answered them, destroy this temple, I will raise it again in 3 days. They replied, it has taken 46 years to build the temple, and you're going to raise it in 3 days? But the temple he had spoken of was his body. Matthew 12:40. For as Jonah was 3 days and 3 nights in the belly of a huge fish, so the Son of Man will be 3 days and 3 nights in the heart of the earth, and then be raised from the dead. So this was foretold by the Son of God. He knew when he came to the planet, he knew his assignment: live, die, and rise from the dead. Now, as I was thinking this through, I said, so what if Jesus did not rise from the dead? What if it was just a fairy tale, a joke? Well, let me just give you a few things I jotted down here. If Jesus didn't rise from the dead, faith is worthless. There's no forgiveness of your sin or my sin. Preaching is an absolute waste of time. The disciples then were liars. There's no hope of life after death. Christians that are to be pitied because they've given their lives, and the end result is zero. Jesus was just a dead prophet, another dead prophet. Prophecies about Jesus, this is just a bunch of lies. And without the resurrection, Christianity as a faith system is absolutely no longer in existence. So there are a lot of things we can say even further in that list if Jesus didn't rise from the dead. I want you to give you an assignment. If you have a Bible, if you don't have one, let us know. We'll try to get you one. Read in the New Testament the book, 1 Corinthians, the chapter, verse 15. Read the whole chapter. And you're going to come up with another basis for if Jesus did not rise from the dead, we are doomed. So Chuck Tolson, former American attorney, political advisor, worldwide prison ministry he started, and was known then as President Nixon's hatchet man, said this. A man, by the way, Tolson, who came to know the risen Christ himself. The world doesn't need to be convinced by technical arguments that Jesus rose from the dead, but by the evidence of Christians obeying the living Christ within them. So what kind of life, if you know Jesus, are you modeling? Are other people curious about why you are the way you are? Why you follow this Jesus? Do they even know that you follow Jesus? Listen, there are two great ways to impact the lives of people. Number one is how we live, the model of how we live. Number two, it's to verbalize and help people understand why we believe in Jesus. Do you do that? Well, let me close this up by saying, yes, Jesus is alive. Absolutely alive. Just like he said he would rise from the dead, he did. Just like he said he's coming back again someday, he will. So here's the question. He is alive. But is he alive in your life? You say, well, I don't know for sure. Well, I hope so. Well, let me tell you, friend, like I told a gentleman the other day in this very office, I said, are you going to make heaven? He said, I hope so. I said, I got a better deal for you. You can know so. Would you like to know so? And I led that man into a relationship with a living Christ. Why don't you ask Christ to come into your life now? Just say, Lord, come into me. Clean me up. And from this point on, help me to become the man or the woman you've always wanted me to be. And then you with confidence can know that the living Christ lives in you and that you also shall live forever. It doesn't get any better than that.